Hi everyone, it's Janis here with another episode to help you build better daily structure and be in control of your life. How can personal brands and businesses ensure that they're continuously growing bigger and expanding? The economy is changing with ups and downs, and consumer behavior is unpredictable. The answer is adaptability, ability to change when market conditions are changing. And it doesn't matter if you're a one-man show or big corporation. If you can't adapt, you will lose. And adaptability doesn't only apply to the business world. It applies to every area of our life where we want to make improvements. If someone is not in a great physical condition, it's most likely because they don't exercise. In order to improve, the person will have to adapt a new routine and include active exercise in it. And it's the same for everything else. Adaptability and willingness to change is the key that will guarantee you the growth. Today, we'll take a look at the Mac McKeown book called Adaptability to learn about how to become more adaptable. So let's dive in. Number 1, it doesn't matter how far you are. Some people might think that it only matters at the beginning of your journey, when you're starting out and learning things. For example, if you're a web developer, you might think that you only need to be adaptable at the beginning of your journey to build a client base and good reputation for yourself. But that is not the case. There are many things that might influence you even when you have become good at what you do and established yourself. If as a web developer, you're currently working with a particular platform, like Joomla for example, and then many of your clients start to migrate to solutions like WordPress. If you're not adapting, then you'll quickly realize that your established client base has gone missing and you are left behind. If, however, you notice this market trend and learn WordPress, then you are more likely to keep your loyal client base and keep growing. Number 2, learn from mistakes. When people fail at something for the first time, they tend to lower their expectations and at least claim that they learned something from their mistakes. The question, however, is what past failures teach us? How to fail or how to improve so that we don't fail again? Adaptability, for the most part, is learning from mistakes and preferably the mistakes of others instead of your own. Take the British automobile industry. In 1950s, virtually every car maker was set to developing ever more powerful and fuel-guzzling vehicles. They were so fixated on this goal that they overlooked the massive segment of the market, young, urban, and environmentally minded people. Germans, however, used this market opportunity to produce compact microcars, and as a result, the British brands were crowded out altogether. Did that make them change their approach? Hardly. There was, however, one notable exception. One team tried different approach. Observing their peers' stubborn refusal to change with the times, team decided to go ahead with the production of new style of car, the iconic Mini. Learning from the mistakes of others and adapting to new customer preferences quickly led to success. Over the following decades, the British Motor Company went on to sell 5 million Minis. Number 3, experimentation is critical to adaptability. In order for you to become adaptable, you will need to understand to what changes you'll have to adopt. The problem, however, is that you can't simply wait for them, as it might be too late. This is why you have to experiment with things in order to be aware of changes coming. Markets are continuously changing, and it will reward those who will continuously and persistently look for new opportunities and experiment. As an individual or brand, you have to be looking for new opportunities that has ability to provide you with growth. If you're a marketer who is trying to help clients, then it's probably a great idea to experiment with different platforms to see what performs the best. Is it YouTube ads, Facebook ads, or maybe something else? How about Twitter and LinkedIn ads, or maybe Google AdWords? Unless you try them out, you really don't know what works the best. But you shouldn't get stuck with this one option, even if it's currently the best one. Platforms are constantly changing. They're adding new features and improving them. So you have to keep your eyes open and go with the changes. Also, different clients that you have will probably have different target audiences. And that might mean that what works for one client doesn't necessarily work for all others. So keep experimenting and stay on the top of the changes. Number 4, failing to think ahead can be costly. What separates average companies from great companies is that great companies are heavily investing in research and development. They are always looking for the next thing that can add more value to their customers and stay ahead of their competition. Companies like Apple and Google are experimenting with the new products to reach new markets, while average companies stay stagnant. Blockbuster is a good example of this. Blockbuster was an American-based provider of home movie and video game rental services that was steadily growing. When streaming service Netflix started to grow, Blockbuster refused to explore this niche and instead was sticking with the old structure and mindset. This inability to experiment and look for new ways to improve the business was a fatal mistake from Blockbuster's side, and it resulted in bankruptcy in 2010. Number 5. Accept multiple perspectives. The big problem that humans have is that they tend to see things from one perspective, and that has negative effect on our ability to adapt and change. You have to be open-minded and willing to continuously look for the new ways to do the work or reach for the goals that you're working for. Many people want to be in a good shape, but they don't exercise. Why? Because they think that the only way to exercise is to hit the gym, and they don't have time to spend 2 hours in a gym every day. But that, of course, is not true. You can run, cycle, and swim to exercise. You can play team sports and even simply go for a lengthy walk in the park. These are all great ways to exercise and get yourself in a better shape and also have more energy, because exercise will give you more energy every time you do it. The thing is that you got to be willing to accept changes and different case scenarios if you want to progress forward in your life. Become adaptable by keeping an open mind, experimenting, and continuously learning. That is the quickest way you can move forward in the game of life. If you want to manage your time better, have more structure in your life, and achieve your goals, make sure you check out my time planning application. You can set goals and track progress towards them, create time blocks and build your own daily structure, as well as log your time and measure your performance. Best of all, it's totally free, so press here to check it out right now. I'm working on new videos every day, so be sure you subscribe so you don't miss my next episode.